Hi, so I am going to be reading Voices in the Park. This will be the last story that I share with you. Definitely one that we read in the classroom, more so with reading instruction, talking about point of view, perspective, and that sort of thing. But this book is also right now being used in many different ways, talking about perspective of us as humans, how we interact with others, and getting just a feel for who people are when you don't know who they are, and to remember to be kind to everybody, whether or not you know them, and just how your even brief interaction with someone can make a huge difference. So, this story is going to be from the point of view of four different characters, a mother and her son, and a father and his daughter. First voice. It was time to take Victoria, our pedigree Labrador, and Charles, our son, for a walk. When we arrived at the park, I let Victoria off her leash. Immediately, some scruffy mongrel appeared and started bothering her. I shooed it off, but the horrible thing chased her all over the park. I ordered it to go away, but it took no notice of me whatsoever. Sit, I said to Charles, here. I was just planning what we should have to eat that evening when I saw Charles had disappeared. Oh dear, where had he gone? You get some frightful types in the park these days. I called his name for what seemed like ages. Then I saw him talking to a very rough-looking child. Charles, come over here at once, I said. And come here, please, Victoria. We walked home in silence. Second voice. I needed to get out of the house, so me and Smudge took the dog to the park. He loves it there. I wish I had half the energy he's got. I settled on a bench and looked through the paper for a job. I know it's a waste of time, but you've got to have some hope, haven't you? Then it was time to go. Smudge cheered me up. She chattered happily to me all the way home. Third voice. I was at home on my own again. It's so boring. Then my mother said that it was time for our walk. There was a very friendly dog in the park, and Victoria was having a great time. I wished I was. Do you want to come on the slide? A voice asked. It was a girl, unfortunately, but I went anyway. She was great on the slide. She went really fast. I was amazed. The two dogs raced around like old friends. The girl took off her coat and swung on the climbing bars, so I did the same. I'm good at climbing trees, so I showed her how to do it. She told me her name was Smudge. A funny name, I know, but she's nice. Then my mother caught us talking together, and I had to go home. Maybe Smudge will be there next time. Fourth voice. Dad had been really fed up, so I was happy when he said we could take Albert to the park. Albert's always in such a hurry to be let off his leash. He went straight up to this nice dog and sniffed its backside. He always does that. Of course, the other dog didn't mind, but its owner was really angry, the silly twit. I got talking to this boy. I thought he was kind of a wimp at first, but he's okay. We played on the seesaw, and he didn't say much. But later on, he was more friendly. We both burst out laughing when we saw Albert taking a swim. Then we all played on the bandstand, and I felt really, really happy. Charlie picked a flower and gave it to me. Then his mom called him, and he had to go. He looked sad. When I got home, I put the flower in some water and made Dad a nice cup of cocoa. The end. So we can infer a lot from what we read. It's hard to see some of the pictures through a video, but seeing them up close, you can infer a little bit more. So we have our first voice, which was the mother, and her son, who was the third voice. And he was a sad, lonely boy. They looked as if they had a lot of money, a lot of wealth, and they had a really big, nice house, but with all of the stuff that they had, he was still really sad, and his mom seemed like an angry, unhappy person as well. So they got to the park, and they encountered with this other family. So it was a man who mentioned he was looking for a job, so probably somebody who was struggling with money, and his daughter who seemed happy and outgoing. So those people, even though they had struggles in their life, were still happier, or at least the daughter was happier than the little boy who had everything. So lots of different perspectives, lots of different takes on this, and really overall theme, and there's lots of little themes throughout that you can start to pick apart. Overall theme is when you're out, when you see someone, you don't really know anything about them, to just show kindness. You never know if it's a sad little boy who is lonely at home and had the best time playing with this stranger in the park for a little bit. You don't know if it's a girl who has a hard life at home and who had a really fun time playing with a stranger in the park. And same with the father, who seemed to have his spirits lifted a little bit and seemed to enjoy himself after he got out to the park. The mother, who again seemed to have everything she needed but still was pretty miserable and went home miserable as well. So looking at the different perspectives of people, and by just showing a little kindness, spreading that around and making things happier, and you don't even really know that you're making things happier for people. So that was Voices in the Park.